jog webcam. Don't know how many can turns there. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. This isn't just a one-off occurrence either. That's been happening quite a lot to me lately, and I'm not sure what I'm doing the correct one. Yeah, Reverend. Yeah, not doing too bad, thank you. 50. It's 50. Best. Splits for covering up the image I was looking at. Need to not let that happen in an actual run. $50 divided by 4, that's 12, and that's remainder 2. 12 remainder 2. Remainder 2, 2 is the password. 2 economics equals best. That's not how you work it out though. Because there are 2 1s and there's a 10. Oh wait, no, yeah, there's an option above best, I'm pretty sure. If you mash through, it puts you like straight on best, but there's one above that you can press it up to get to, I think. Anyway, I had the image to look at, it's just then my splits were covering it up, so it would have been good to have been able to like calculate it rather than looking at the image, but most of the time my splits aren't going to be covering that, so it's not really too big of a deal. Yeah, we're going into the next attempts being 1 frame late hitting the panel on elevator, so I need to bear that in mind with the frame that I aim for. Might be best to aim for one that's... Oh, it might be best to like aim for a frame early if I'm consistently a frame late pressing the button or panel. Let's get to it. Shit. Oh, fuck off. Okay, I'm gonna have to go in and, like, adjust my potentiometer thing. Literally perfectly fine. Boot it up straight away. And now we're trying to go into runs and it's not letting me play. Yeah. Boot up perfectly fine when I go to practice, but when I go to actually runs, just do the tick noise bullshit, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find some time today to just fucking go in there. If we can't get a run going, I'm just gonna have to go into the PS2 and adjust the fucking thing. Yeah, no. Once you're in there, it's fine. If you swap for a backup disc to a free, you have to wait 20 extra seconds, but you don't have to deal with any of this. Just need to adjust the laser potentiometer thing. Because this is FF7, I need to show a hard reset. This is the biggest problem of having to deal with this ticking bullshit is because it's FF7, I need to make sure I show a hard reset, otherwise fucking mods will breathe down my neck. So I have to make sure I show a hard reset, and so I have to deal with the ticking bullshit twice. Started my timer slightly late, so the IDT is going to be out of sync slightly. Need to be mindful of that. Yo, Clanes Tennis. Thank you for the good luck. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Please, no second and a half. Oops. Oh, we got run on Barrett. Let's go. Really slow, there's no way in hell. some movement there on purpose, so we don't have to force as much for the encounter on the other end. I'll go for double preemptive. Oh, we got it, nice. 41 is a good attack roll with Cloud as well. 34, 41. So we're missing 47 damage compared to a Bolt. 88 minus 41, that's 47. So we're missing out on 47 damage, but we probably weren't going to get the Bolt in. I mean, let's be real here. With how much I'd be scrambling to flick the Cloud and like get it down to Bolt, there's no way. Technically there's a possibility, but there's no way to know. Highly doubt it as well. Should give him a limit. 250, 220-ish. Good brave roll. That is a good brave roll. Good start. Yeah, so better at the force an encounter, and the extra walking steps I took earlier, like grabbing the ladder, or grabbing the first ladder, it made it so I didn't have to force as much there. I didn't get a potion drop earlier, so we have to grab the potion here. Damn, there are 559 just to skip. It's not great. $5.59 Jesse skip was pretty bad, actually. On the non-existent segment timer. Hey, we got Run and Barrett this run, so the run's blessed. Yeah, I got kind of lucky there. I went in front. I will hold that I was fucking lucky there. Like, instead of pressing X and down right at the same time, I kind of pressed them out of order, but we still managed to slip through. Yeah, like, right at the end of guard skip, you're supposed to hold the, cancel and down right at the same time, or near enough the same time. Otherwise it throws the whole thing off. That time I made that mistake, but with it, he bonked a little bit, we still managed to make it through, so we didn't really get punished as much as I should have. I'll have to look back, if I can remember to. I'm gonna have to look back later, see what actually happened with my inputs on the input display while that was going on. When the run inevitably dies, if I can remember. But first off, I need to adjust the potentiometer thing on my laser, so that it can always read backup disks and doesn't make that awful ticking noise. After I do that, I need to try and remember to look back in the board later on, see what actually was going on in my input display during that guard skip. Try and figure out why it worked when it shouldn't have. Or, in theory, it felt like it wasn't going to work, and it worked. So I have to see what I did to make it somehow work. Didn't get the funny animation. Ron's no longer blessed. Ron's cursed now. If you interact with that guy soon enough, he'll like do this like thing like while he's like turning right like 90 degrees, he'll like do that weird like robot thing, but we didn't get the animation. There must have been slow approaching him, so the run's no longer blessed. The run is cursed now, in fact. Yeah, we've got to be careful with basket on this D-pad. The D-pad helped us. Yeah, the D-pad helped us with guard skip somehow, but okay, we're fine. Should be fine here. Yeah, fine. Oh, that's close. 409 bar skip exit. That's below average, even for non-turbo. I think on average I get like a 408 bar skip exit, and that was like a 409. 607 dressing room revisit. That's bad. Even for non-turbo, that's bad. I also missed a squat on Scorch, which is cosmetic because the opponent only got 15. So that is a cosmetic mistake, but yeah, I still need to make sure that doesn't happen again, because if my opponent decides to show up and get like 19, then I'm fucked, you know? So yeah, on top of a slow wall market, also making a mistake on squats. Bit of a wide angle there. Oh, and there, fucking hell. Wasting time for absolutely no reason. Stairs boss almost caught us out then. The stairs boss gave us a little bit of trouble there, but we still defeated him. Almost interact with Aerith there instead of Tifa. So they press select somehow. Don't bonk. I mean, we have to bonk, but don't release X. That's what I meant. If you release X while we were bonking there, it fucks the whole thing up. Step ID rolls over past 48. $143. Mid-start. Okay, I think we're fine. 490 is plenty enough. Yeah, the wave was strong cloud. We've got a decent cloud. I haven't checked his stat, but he was rolling high at Gar Scorpion, and he rolled high there, so we've got a decent cloud. Sub 36 kill, not sub 36 split, but sub 36 kill. Good enough. No. Okay. Fuck. That's just as well as skipping these steps then. What the fuck am I doing? Hello? What am I doing, bro? What is this? Might be alright. I have to be careful on the staircase then. Not even a sub-3 frame graveyard exit. Can't afford to be thinking about pace right now. I need to be thinking about how I'm not going to waste a movement. In theory, that's fine. Like, if you take the 6 steps in sewers, you actually get the encounter before where I got it there. But my movement from frame graveyards to Shinra is like really bad. Like on the field screens. Like my dungeon screen movement. Like, not the screens that are list variable. My movement there is fine. Because I've drilled those screens super hard. But the dungeon screens, like, my movement's not particularly great from frame graveyard up until Shinra. But in theory it's fine. Like, if you take the 6 steps in sewers, which is optimal for this step route, because it allows you to go for an encounter skip in the frame graveyard. You get the encounter before that point. Wasted some fucking movement there, what? Wasted more movement. More! What the fuck are you doing, dude? Stop. Oh, man. It's not even Rust, it's just this D-pad. And I can't use my Dual Shock 4 with the D-pad's too broken on it. I wouldn't even call that Rust. It's just a case of this D-pad's just fucking annoying. D-pad issue, I know. My Dual Shock 4 is too broken in, and then this D-pad isn't broken in enough. We actually raced that the other day. I was only 2 minutes off first place, and the other player was on Xbox, so... Hadn't played in 5 months, and was only 5 minutes off my PB. Another thing to note is, on that race, I was playing on disc, whereas my PB is Open PS2 loader. And it's NTSC, whereas that was PAL disc, and I was only 5 minutes off. PAL doesn't lose time on Lemon the same way it does in the way you'd typically expect. It's 50 Hz instead of 60 Hz, but it's still like roughly the same speed. But it affects the cycles. You're playing with different cycles on PAL Lemon than NTSC Lemon. The cycles are different, but other than that, like, you move the same way. Yeah, we did a little offline race the other day. Playing on the PAL version, which has different cycles to what I'm used to, and playing on this, compared to my PB being on ODE and on the NTSC version. Five minutes still sounds like a lot, but I mean, person who was in first, they were like 7 minutes off their PB. So it still felt good. Yeah, my swells, thank you. But yeah, I would call it a D-pad problem rather than a Rust problem. If I was playing on my old DualShock 4 the D-pad got too worn in, like too worn down, I would not be making that same mistake. It's just getting used to this fucking thing. It's just awkward. Pads are like, I don't know. The pad underneath isn't quite to my liking just yet. But yeah, I need to be careful here in the broken road. In theory, it's fine, but with how bad my movement is on broken road, like, pretty worrisome. .22, I guess. Walking. Replay buffer, replay buffer, replay buffer. That's the shots. That's the. Although I can see in a bit. Alright, see you, Reverend. Good luck. But yeah, when I force these mighty grunts after elevator, I'm gonna have to really force it like, at the bottom of the screen, otherwise I'm fucked in steps. I have to really make sure I line up with the bottommost point that you can interact with the grunts on. Okay, that glow at the end might have been a phantom glow. So I'll put that at 10, just in case it was. It looks like a glow there. Like, 95% sure I saw a glow at the end. But it might be a phantom glow. 3, 1, 2, 1, 3. I surely hope it was a phantom glow, because if it wasn't, we ought to wait until 4:15. Technically, there's one at 2:42 to 2:54, but my machine is not fast enough to catch that one on the save crystal clock. One at 7. Can't. Even if we wait for the 4:15 one to make group 7, then I have to be really fast with mashing to hit the panel on the elevator. So, looking at like 5 o'clock, just after 5 o'clock. Let's see, 3 and 2 on 1. We'll have to wait until 5 o'clock on the save crystal. It's really annoying. Basically waiting for 2 whole extra rotations. But yeah, I swear that glow at the end wasn't a phantom. I swear I saw it, so... Even at 5 o'clock, or just after 5. One, 2, 3, 4. Just after 5. Okay. If we get the next encounter behind the crack, we need to walk to the crack. But we're locked into elevator now. We can't pivot to stairs because we've already bought the amount of grenades that we need for elevator rather than stairs. We made it past the crack. I think we're fine. We made it past the crack. Barrett's at below half of his max HP. Okay, we can take the shorter path here. And the shorter path here. A little bit of a wide line at the end there, but I think it's fine. There's a -5 to +40 on that screen revisit. So that's 40 frames of lenience, so it should be fine. Okay. I should heal Barrett here for safety, really, right? I'm gonna check what the results would be if it wasn't a Phantom. But yeah, run up plus 28. Run up plus 28. Bad movement there. So I'm going to open Group 0, List 48, just in case the blow at the end was a Phantom blow. .048. .145. That's literally the earliest possible fucking thing on the blow timer. So if it is Group 7, if it is Group 3, List 211, we hit the panel much later than if it's the other group, so let's just discard even thinking that it might be the other group. If we hit the panel early, then it's over. We will know we hit the panel early if we get 413. Looks like we got dead on. Right. Alright, start off with 3, you can get it again, man. You can do it. Nice, we got Stone Minute. Let's go. 13-second minute, and it's a Stone Minute. But yeah, like I said earlier, we've got to really force this to the bottom of the screen. They might sneak in a turn here. Oh yeah, definitely getting a turn. Oh, guess not. Alright, how much gil do we have? How much gil do we have? 559, okay, that's exactly dead on for my gil route. My gil route on my save states expects 559, and that's how much we got. And we also didn't get any tranquilizer drops, so we're just dead on my gil route. So we don't need to even think about any of that shit. Don't have to even consider any of the other stuff, like gil backups to get back onto my gil route, because, well, we're dead on what I expect. Pushing your luck a bit there, man. Gotta be a bit more careful. Slow mash, but it's fine. We started mashing early for that reason. Six, 10, 14. Come on. Please don't tell me it ticked over. Please. I'm just gonna mash through and hope for the best here. Nice. Didn't get punished for being too far away from the door. We're looking for sub 104.52 here for a good puzzle room. Oh, a good puzzle room exit, rather. This is exactly why we forced it. Oh, this is exactly why we forced the grunts fight at the, like, near the bottom of the screen. Because otherwise it'd be even further back than this. This is already pretty bad, but... we don't even have to think about whether or not I'm going to force the encounter at the red light, because we're not even going to make it to the red light. Saves some of the energy on decision making. not quite a sub 420 puzzle room exit, but it's fine. Let's close off all this Excel bullshit. Yeah, I do need to remember. I mean, I don't have to remember. I guess I kind of do. I got stone in it, so I need to remember not to mash through for the Force Stealer minigame. Because we got stone manip, it's more likely, not guaranteed to be, but it's more likely to be a pattern which has less actions. So if we mash into the Force Stealer minigame, effectively what that means is I could be, like, as the minigame's starting, I could be, like, pressing circle when I should be pressing something else. And because it's, like, fewer actions, that could, I could cock myself out of getting the Force Stealer, essentially. Yeah, we have to, I'm not surprised at how bad that Enemy Shinra segment was, despite it being a full minute. Because we had to wait a fucking million years. Okay, we didn't, but we had to wait 2 extra save crystal rotations, and then I had to wait a little bit extra so that I could hit Group 3, because Group 7 would, if I was to go for Group 7, the metronome, like, flow timer for, hitting the panel was, like, very early on, so my mashing would have had to be on point. Now, my mashing in that elevator on this run wasn't that bad anyway, so there's a chance that we could have made it. Like, compared to the mashing during the elevator that I had, like, before I started runs here. The mashing was actually pretty decent, so maybe we could have hit him. Maybe we could have hit, like, the second metronome value, but... yeah. Based on how slow my mashing was in the elevator before I started runs, I didn't want to chance it, so I waited a little bit extra and hit Group 3 instead. Oh, by the way, Group 3 is very notorious for being incredibly slow, and if not slow, really hard to hit and killing your run. Group 3 seeds typically have that reputation among elevator minippers. It's known for being an awkward, slow-ass manip. And yeah, I had to wait a long-ass time outside Eris's house to be able to go for it. But the manip itself is, like, very good. Like, especially for a Group 3 elevator manip. Yeah, we have to wait a while for it, but... in terms of being in the elevator itself, that was a very good Group 3. I think Group 3 is typically awkward, because you gotta hit, like, a lot of, like, position 9s. By kind of, like, you know... technically unoptimal, but I kind of, instead of going for Group 9s, I went for a couple of instead of going for position 9s, I went for a couple of position 8s. Because if I was early on aiming for position 8, I can just add an extra buffer. And if I go slightly past position 8, then I can just do one less buffer, aka 0 buffer. Or 0 additional buffers. You gotta do the first buffer anyway, because you gotta go into the menu to be able to react to what you see on screen, if that makes sense. So there's always gonna be that initial buffer. But yeah, like, instead of aiming for position 9s and making it hard, I just aimed for position 8, and I got that twice. So, which meant I had to do, like, 2 additional buffers. But a lot of the time with the position 9 buffers you go for on Group 3, if you overshoot it, you either fuck up the whole manip, or you gotta do, like, 15 buffers. I shit you not. So I'd rather take those 2 extra additional menu buffers than risk having to do 15 of them, you know? So I just decided to play it safe and went for position 8 twice instead of position 9 twice, and it paid off. But yeah, on one hand I was like even before I entered the Mighty Gun's fight, I was like, geez, this looks like a slow-ass time for a full manip. But now I've just remembered that, yeah, like, we did have to wait, like, two whole extra fucking save crystal rotations before we left. And then also I lost time during Broken Road trying to make sure I didn't, like, waste a lot of movement, if that makes sense. Because I was doing my movement a bit more carefully, because we were slightly behind on steps, and we still are technically slightly behind on steps. Yeah, I had to take Broken Road a bit more carefully, as well as having to wait all that fucking time to leave. Eris is gone. Yo, Ninari. Had a raid, man. How do a FFH stream go? Yo, Catcher, thank you, man. I did see your FFH. Soft locks. What? Switch to different safe compare this. Ah, nice. Soft lock. The only soft lock I know of in that game is the, you know, the dog one near the end of Dish 3. Is that the one you're talking about? You mentioned Orphanage, but you might be talking about a different spot in the Orphanage. That's the one? Yeah. Man, that sucks. I've never actually had that one. I've heard about it, but I've never actually had it happen. That's big and none. Talk to Angela. Damn, not a sub 112. That's all good. Runs are good enough. The route does work, so you're happy with enough. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. I'm glad he had a productive stream. Okay, so here we're gonna go into the menu to back row red and switch A to B back to active. And there's an encounter coming up. So what we do here is we try to do that menu where the encounter is. The encounter we're trying to skip is a preemptive, so you only lose like 10 seconds, but still worth going for because well, we gotta go into the menu anyway. And you may have been looking at my input display there and noticed how fucking close I was. Really annoying, but oh well. That's why I have the input display. It's just so it can be like, see, I did the input correctly. It's just I got screwed. Yeah. Anyway. At least I don't gotta mash fast now. I mean, I probably shouldn't invite more time loss, but if I get that encounter skip, I'm like, holy shit, I need to mash as fast as I can here to make sure I try and save all of that time by the end of the split. About 3 viewers. Oh, tasty. Hope anyway, something from her entering the screen even though she was there, yeah. Well, I mean, the softball sucks, but you got to test out the route. That's nice. grab the poison here. What's the damage? Going for the encounter skip hasn't like made us fall behind the steps, so we're a little bit behind. That wouldn't be anything to do with the menus, but yeah. I might have wasted movement while anticipating the menu, if that makes sense. But we're not so far behind for enough for it to be like a problem, really. Sub-6 top floor entrance on the imaginary segment title. While he's moving around like this, you don't really lose much time with the slow mashing. Apart from when he talked to Barrett. When he talked to Barrett there, he stopped before he, like, opened his textbooks. Everyone else, like, was basically auto-scroller, essentially. Okay, so we pick remove here, because we'll do a menu before Motable. If you still have Lightning on Cloud's weapon, you don't necessarily have to do it like before Motable. You can do it afterwards, but you have to remember to do it. But you should just do the menu here, like, before Motable, so you just pick remove here. Makes the material line up nicer for that menu. I didn't arrange anyway, but even if you arrange, it would still, like, change the positions. Okay, there's no way we're getting all three in here. So on this fight, the only way that preemptive grenades save time is if you get all three in. Otherwise, you've got to resync it back up. Well, I'm resyncing it back up here anyway, because red's close to a limit. The reason I sync it up, is so that I can... When the next Gunner Brothers phase starts with the second elevator fight, so after I throw the grenades, I can buffer into the limits and get extra DPS. Get more actions in before the 100 Gunner takes its action. Or does its action. Should have pivoted to Barrett there, really, but as long as he doesn't get slapped here, or as long as he doesn't get slapped in the next two turns, or within the next two turns, it's fine. So, 100 Gunner's going to take its turn. A Heligoner, rather. Don't sleep Barret. Here I can buffer into his limit. Saving a grenade and potentially saving a turn later on. There's no way for it to save turns. We can, however, save time here. I mean, overall, the limit was slower, I would say. But the silver line here is we don't have to throw a grenade with Eris, and Eris throws grenades the slowest out of these three. It goes Red, Barret, Eris in terms of grenade throwing speed. Quick draw didn't pay off. This should give him a limit, I think. Should be restore ice. D-pad kind of something there. Even with that sloppy menu, like, best case scenario is it's just less time that we have to wait for the next IDT. Worst case scenario, it can occasionally mean that you missed out on hitting a good IDT after Barret skip. Sometimes little things like that like can make the difference between you hitting a good IDT or not. But I feel like a lot of the time when it's something as small as that, it typically just means, okay, I'm having to wait less time to hit the next IDT. Here's a rather optimistic way of like looking at it, but like, I do appreciate that's like a level of subtlety to like seeing like everyone just like reset in Midgar over like small things. It seems pretty fucking ridiculous. Like, especially if you're not like world record level, it seems ridiculous, but it's more just a case of like being able to hit your better IDTs more than anything. Like, a small mistake earlier on that loses you a little bit of time could potentially down the road lead to you having to wait like 20 more seconds for an IDT. As well as just like losing time overall, but even if like, in theory it could mean, oh, if you have to wait for that IDT anyway, then and didn't really end up losing any time, but sometimes it is a case of, yeah, I have to hit a really nasty IDT now. I'm gonna let them gang up and Barret T for a bit here, just so Cloud can use a limit during the middle fight. think I let Barrett take a bit too much damage there. Tifa especially. So I'm definitely going to have to try and defend one of them. Certainly Cloud's going to get targeted first, but I'm going to have to defend the other one. Yo, Dingo. Yeah, it's more just like the small, like, time loss and small mistakes you make. They snowball, and like, worst case scenario, make you have to wait a while for an IDT, which is like more time loss. Thankfully, good luck. Defender with Barrett. Okay, defend with Tifa it is, I guess, because Barrett got crit. No problem. No problem at all, Josk. Enjoy the luck, enjoy the food. Enjoy the hack commands. Thankfully, it seems like I'm done with XL for the day. Unless I were to die in the next 20 minutes or get stuck in the mountain or whatever, then we'll have to go again, and then I'll have to open up XL again. Appreciate it. $30.56, it's 35 seconds away, so 31. 131.31. So we could have been able to hit 26 or 29. But 35, as I was doing 0 inputs on the world map, so I probably would have wanted to wait for that one anyway, so it probably makes no difference. Unless I were to fuck up Barrett skip here, then it does make a difference. Yeah, it's made no difference because the 26 and the 29 involve left inputs and menus. 26 is 2 left, 1 menu. 29 is 3 left, 1 menu. Whereas this, you don't have to do anything when you're on the world map. So I probably would have wanted to wait for this one anyway. So whatever mistake I made for mobile on the menu, kind of redundant. Yeah, you could argue that maybe had I not messed up on the Reno split earlier, like in the Reno segment. You could make the argument that maybe I could have hit like a 130-10 or some shit, but... I could have had that bad RNG anyway, you know? 133-12. I mean, I did run back myself, but running back myself didn't lose that much time, but it's just a bad RNG that followed. No way to know if I would have gotten that RNG or not, so... unhealthy way of thinking about it. Right. 13 or 16. 13 is a Burge preemptive. Might have left a little bit early then. Should be a Burge preemptive. It is, okay. Okay, I'm gonna keep it on A to B weight. Typically I switch to A to B active, like at the Zolom cutscene here. But Cloud still needs his limit, so I'm just gonna keep it on A to B weight. I should have just left them. I don't know why I knew that was the correct position, but I decided to do an extra left input for no reason. Now we have to wait for Cloud to get off and close his 2 text boxes. Yeah, in theory, the wave should give Cloud a limit. Sometimes the wave misses, even if you don't defend him. The wave can just miss. Could have done that on Cloud, but whatever. Oof. There's a bit of a left, pulled it down left there. That might have screwed it. Let's see. No, it didn't. Okay. That was a very good stretch. It's not going to give me a 1 ink again, is it? That would be insane. The last 2 runs we've had the bottom as well have all been a 1 ink from Calm Skip. Okay, Cloud and Barrett need to be healed here. I was gonna say, like, I can't get that lucky that often. That would be absurd. buy 2 extra potions and buy 1 less molly later on. It's fine, we just buy 1 less molly. Oh. So we've got enough full buyers. Okay, we've got fast try anyway. That's first try buyer on bottom as well. 3 runs in a row that made it to this point. My bio lock lately has been fucking absurd. I'm not even gonna deny that. People throws grenades faster. It's irrelevant because it takes 4 more grenades to kill him here anyway, but... Not even a sub 140 kill. Runs trash. Reset. Yo, Colin. Thank you, man. Sorry, I was in the tank there. Happy 420, brother. Yeah, I was in the gauntlet. Man, I'm so jealous of your sub 740 and no major skips. That's fucking huge, man. Good shit. That's a banger of a fucking time. Jesus Christ. Yeah, no kidding, I bet. No, I haven't seen it yet, no. You get a gold one, or was it a prick? Open arm, grab cloud, and you just went in. Hell yeah. Fucking hell. That's some ballsy ass shit. That's like Caracon's Death Guy's level of fucking boldness. Added crit, fucking hell. slow textbooks there, but it's fine. Better than picking the wrong option. Beat Rush? Fucking hell, yeah. Oh yeah, of course, because he was fucking dead. Otherwise, you would have had to waste like 16 seconds on a fucking summon. And even then, that makes like the wake trick more awkward. Like, rather than being able to just chain both together. Wow. Yeah, it's not just the time loss from doing the summon, it's the allowing Dying Weapon to take an extra action, which could be problematic. Yeah, it's not too bad. But even if on paper, if Dying Weapon behaves, and you happen to do a summon instead, there's still like 16 seconds lost, like off the rip. Yeah, this isn't quite the pace I've had the last two runs past bottom as well. They've both been a 140.02, but it's still decent. You know what? This run's actually as good as those runs, on paper. Because those two 140.02s I've had lately, past bottom as well. Like, both runs that made it past bottom as well. Neither of those have had Stone Minute at the end of Elevator Minute. So on paper, this is basically just as good as those runs. I mean, you can get unlucky with the Force Steal in the game, even if you get Stone Minute, but statistically, like on paper, this is basically the same as those 140.02 runs I've had. Of Stone Minute. Yeah, those other two times I didn't get stoned because it wasn't 420, but today I had to make sure that I got stoned. So 3, 8, 8, 3. Oh yeah, we got stones at position 3 with stone 33. Bad line there. We did buy extra potions because our party members were all below 300 HP. So I need to remember to buy one less Molotov later on. I could buy one less Phoenix down, but the last few times I've tried buying one less Phoenix down, I get absolutely screwed. It's so nice having that extra Phoenix down. Messed us up like I did 2 attempts ago. I've had an attempt since then, and this went fine, but I feel like I was autopiling. sorry, I feel like I was autopiloting last time. So I've got to make sure I can do it while paying attention. Good enough. Oh, 5%. Alternatively, we get the right arm steal and then be amped by less noise. Doesn't really matter. Because I typically do that when I get the right arm steal anyway. But... Lost like 7 seconds to my turbo Juma Parade split so far. I think when I exit the skill build, and it's like the segment timer is typically, when I have a segment timer, it's typically like 11:48, and that was like 11:55. Right, we did get stone in it, so I have to be careful here. Try not to mash through. Because we've got manip, it's more likely to be pure action, so if I mash into it and do a circle input in place of wherever the input was supposed to be, then I could cut myself out of getting it, so better just play it safe and close the last two text boxes a little bit slow. With the pattern we got, it didn't end up really mattering, but if I had mashed into it, we probably would have had a different pattern, so it's not really a great way to think about it. Holy fuck. Good manip, holy shit. Group 3 actually proven useful for once. Have to wait 2 whole hour. Sorry, yeah, I have to wait 2 whole hours on the same crystal block, but it's worth it. Yeah, I think my best segment on J-Buff's up at 510. Sub 2 ain't happening, unfortunately. That's fine, my PB doesn't have a sub 2 J-Buff either. We went up 2 whole pace placements from that stone minute. Let's go. You can only do what I did there if you're close enough to her, otherwise it won't interact. Still not even sure if it's worth doing, like... Yeah, in that position I could interact with her again, but I'm pretty sure she'll like turn around again, so I don't even think it's worth doing that. We should just like run into her probably second time. It feels cleaner, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's worth it. Cloud's max HP. 367. Okay, that means we don't need to put Shiva on him. If the max HP is 370 or more, you need to put Shield on him to reduce his HP so that the limits fill all the way. Unless he's level 12, then they won't fill up anyway. But if he's level 11 and his max HP is 370 or higher, then you need to put Shield on him to ensure that the limits, or to ensure that the lasers fill his limit bar all the way out from 0. Okay. Alright, give me another, please. Please. Alright. Don't do it. So he's got a limit ready. Oh, ain't that a crock of shit. One second of my gold. Imagine if J-Buff had not missed Cloud on that first laser. Imagine how good that would have been. Like, we were already in like 1 second off my gold. Like, well, 16 seconds off my gold if you factor in all of my gold splits. But on this splits farm, we're only a second off. Would have easily golded had that first laser not missed. Oh well. But hey, we went up 4 whole pace placements. I think my real PB gets a 20025 J-Buff. Check. Yeah. Not too far off, but... I mean... Delta-wise, it technically is sub 640 pace, but... I'm gonna lose time to my shitty mashing later on, like down the road, when it all accumulates. I mean, yeah, my PB also does Omni Slash instead of counter. But even still, like, And only slash worth of time loss is still less than the amount I'm gonna lose, like, or net lose, like by the end of the run to my slower matching. But it's still technically sub 640 pace. It's gonna be like 203.22. Nah, that's optimistic. It's probably more like 203.44. Maybe even 56. Cloud's got its limit ready, which is good, but we've got to use another one after that limit. I count as 6 at the moment. We're gonna hit the 44. Looks like it. .44 was a hold 0, and oh, fucked it, I think. Messed up that movement there a little bit. Yeah, it's a hold 0, and I've verified that it works because I've hit that same exact IDT before. Yeah, that was kind of sketchy, my movement there. I need to clean it up a bit. Going around that bend, like, you know, there's like the bend before the bridge, and then there's a bend like when you're going up the hill a bit. I'm kind of like not doing that movement correctly. Like I'm holding it rather than releasing where it should. You're supposed to release like. I think it's L1 you release, like, going up that hill for the first time. There I just, like, held the shoulder buttons, like, the whole way. It worked, like, I didn't get punished, but when I tie him a nip, that could screw me. Yeah. Red rocket. Yeah, I need to brush up my reversal to Coral Mountains a little bit. It may as well have been like 13, but it's fine. It's whatever. Walked a little bit there. Could have really targeted the back row if I was going to target any, but it ended up not really mattering. But if I want to do that steel thing, I need to do it on the back row instead. No double surge. Yeah, I need to buy one less small up here. We bought extra potions later on. I mean, full bottom as well. Typically I have an excess of like over 300 gil by the time I get to Rocket Town, but can always buy more after Palmer, I guess. Probably not going to, but the option's there. Oh. Well, I didn't buy one less Molly, but we have about 3650 gil, that's fine. There's 38 there. So we need to use the limit we have with Cloud currently. And then the laser's gonna give him his 8th limit. Yeah, that's fine. As long as it's like around 3700, then we're on route. Where the Gil route is. It's around like 3700-ish. But yeah, really I should have bought 24 mollies there instead of 25, but I get was fine, so. Reeves, Furiosi. Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of Kasich, to be fair. He does have a good track though, that's for sure. Yeah, if I'm gonna poke the IDT here, I'm gonna do it after laser. I want to see how the laser fight goes first before I decide if I want to risk just going off of what the IDT says or not. I feel like I started my timer slightly late, so the IDT probably is going to be like offset too much. It's not going to be out of sync for that reason. Because I feel like I didn't start my timer correctly, so I probably shouldn't chance it. But yeah, I'm going to see how the laser fight goes before I decide if I want to poke it or not. But if I decide not to poke it, like, during the cutscenes, I could just, like, you know, look at my board and see what the difference between my IDT, like... Yeah, what I could do is... If I don't poke the IDT, I could, like, during the cutscene, I could go back, check what the IDT says in the menu, compare that to what the IDT says on my live split, and see how much I need to offset it by. Throw around and check and be like, oh, good, to check. Yeah, like, if the IDT is offset too much, I could just, like, you know... Say it's, like, a second fast, or a second early is probably more likely in my instance. I could just, like, you know, leave 1 second early. Like, say I'm aiming for, like, a 2:35, I could leave when, like, the estimated IDT says, like, 2:29 or something like that. But yeah, I would need to go on the board and check still, see what the difference is. At the moment, there's like a 37-second diff between my RTA and IDT. I'm probably gonna have like a 223 laser split, something like that. So, I guess 222.35. Chances are we're going to get unlocked on laser, it's going to be more like 224, but for now let's put 222.35. 222.35 is optimistic. What the time's gonna, or what the IDT is going to be at the end of laser, that is very optimistic, but... Costa del Sol to Coral Mountains. You know, like when I opened up the menu, did the heal, and then I left with like a certain IDT. So like just after Genova Birth, like before I exit out into the world map. This pace I'll see. Thank you, thank you. Mark on release. Yeah, I'm hoping the IDT is going to be around 222.35, but that is very optimistic. Based on how that fight typically goes, probably more like 224. Okay, I actually did that party select correctly this time. Alternatively, you can check. I mean, I was going pretty fast in the menu there, but maybe there's a small window you can check the disparity there. Okay, the thieves never go first, so here you do an attack buffer. Oh, fuck. Okay, didn't get punished. I meant to target the thief. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a little bit extra there, just to be safe. Burn some movement here. Okay, so it is early as I thought. Thanks for checking. Yeah, could have done that in Cloud, mate. Thanks. Oh, cool. Use that on the beach pods, I guess. We're not gonna be able to... Like, if a side attack is... If it's faster to go for a side attack than, Oh. 27, more like... Okay, so the 222.35 wasn't that optimistic. Ended up being even lower than that. 222.27 is what I picked that at. And if I was adept enough, quick enough, I could have easily poked it at like 222.23 even. Yeah, thanks for checking, Reverend, but it's irrelevant now, so I've just poked the oddity. But thanks for checking in case I decided to leave it. Yeah, obviously, if a side attack is sooner, I'm not gonna, like, deliberately wait longer to avoid a side attack. But I'm not gonna wait extra time for a side attack, because Cloud's limit bar is full at the moment. We're just gonna take the earliest possible reach bug minute. And then you need to remember to use a limit on one of them, one of the beach bugs. Okay, we did get a high port drop, so if we get crit here, then like when I saw cross slash, I just saw that we had a high port drop. So if we get crit here, we do have the option to heal. No preemptive. Yeah, oh, fucking out, and the miss. Okay, yeah. How are we doing, chat? If I see a flash in the corner of my eye, I'll check. 70 MP, holy moly. Broke even with my matching PB. How are we doing against my real PB though? Ignore the misnomer. Okay, we're about 50 seconds behind, which I'm not surprised about. My PB did get it right on still. Thank you for the follow. That's the first time I've seen that, like, thing come up in my chat before I actually hear the alert. Or typically I see it on the activity feed and I hear the alert and I see it come up in chat. Yeah, we're about 50 seconds behind my actual PB, but we're running against a right on there, so I'm not entirely surprised. Pace is still good. We can get a good Palmer as well as a decent MK than sailing. But like, those are my actual 639 PB splits. It's called that because I have like have these which take out the first 3 hours of the splits, but just because with my PB currently, the run doesn't really start until Temple. Because my biggest time saver is on Palmer, and then I'm running against a crazy traversal to Temple, so the run doesn't really start until after that point. Section of PB was ridiculous, all plus revive, all plus right minute, right on, fucking hell. Yeah, I need to remember to use a... Wait, no, we got cross slash already. Yeah, because just before I saw that we had a high port drop, I didn't notice that we got cross slash. Technically, you know, I started off the Deathcore fight with a Molotov and Cloud's Braver. Technically, it should have been a grenade and this Braver. But I wasn't sure if they were going to use barrier or not before case, yeah, before Kate threw the item. I wasn't sure if they were going to barrier or not, so I just decided to do Molly instead. Beach plug summarized. Don't enter Canyon or owe corn fed $5. Yes, that's right. True. Yeah, these are the same splits as the splits I have in my PB board. My turbo PB. And we're under a minute off, so. Since I'm on an official controller, I can hold start here and the controller doesn't disconnect. On my 8-bit though, if I hold start here for too long, like the controller turns off. But this is the dual analog, so I can just hold it. That's a low ass IDT, holy shit. Maybe like 54 or 0. Nah, we're not getting 47. 54 or 0. Okay, this is 2 menus. Half the amount of movement as the one afterwards. Despite... So yeah, 2 extra menus, but half the amount of movement, so it wasn't worth waiting for the next one. Might have messed this up, by the way. This doesn't look like 63 to me. This definitely does not look like 63. It's more like 300. Yeah. Yeah, I messed up the down to down right transition there, I think. Sag. Wait, what? I poked my IDT wrong, I guess. I must have poked my IDT incorrectly. Fuck's sake. This is a disaster. It's not even it, is it? Here comes Leo pace palling at the worst possible fucking opportunity. I don't know how I poked the IDT incorrectly, but I must have. There was like... There's no way forcing that first encounter cost 4 minutes. I mean, I can tell by the splits that it hasn't. It's lost a lot of time, but... I must have poked that IDT incorrectly. 8 discs coming in today. Nice. And we're gonna have to go back to Gold Saucer because we overshot the pixel as well. Fuck me, man. Oh my god. How the fuck are you... Did I do... I don't know how... Literally no idea how I mispoked the IDT, but I have, apparently. Please, let me leave. Oh boy. That's not it. But yeah, Leo, if you can use like very basic mental math and you can tell I'm literally at the end of a split. If you see that I'm green, but you can notice that I'm literally at the end of a split, like, you know, like, you can use some very basic common sense to tell that maybe you should just fucking like wait to post a fucking email like that. Like, pace power when the split's done, or if I'm like halfway through a split, not when at the end of a fucking split, when something could just like easily have just fucked up. But at the end of the day, it's my own fault having the emote. I have the emote, I have the pace power emote, so I'm the one who has to deal with it. That is on me, and I have to hold that. You know that 7TV emote, which is like poggers, but it's just like the car, it goes off a ramp and then it crashes into the ground. That's the kind of vibe I get from the timing of the emote being posted. Poison, I don't know. Five. But at the end of the day, that wasn't bullshit RNG. That was me fucking up. I feel like a lot of the time, like when a run dies, Leo assumes it's my fault. But that time, with the amount of time I lost, that actually is my fault. This time around. Even if I feel cheated, I still technically fucked up something. So that's still on me. What's the point in that? 72. Don't kill her. Oh. Oh my god, man. One tick. One tick. One tick. Don't miss, please. One tick. 72, one tick. 72, one tick. 98, one tick. 98, two tick. Please. FDA, hold one. $240, 44. It's a delay. That means we need to do the menu in Rocket Town. I could do it before, but that risks, like, you know... Oh, I messed up my movement there. Cool. Oh, even averages are saving us there. That's right, we haven't done the fucking shop, the menu yet. Yeah, still don't know how I messed up poking the IDT. I'm not sure what went wrong there. By the way, I can look at the estimated IDT now. I can tell it's like inversed for like 2 minutes. Must have accidentally fucked up clicking something when I was doing it. I'm gonna, because Cloud and Kate both have a limit, I'm gonna Yoshi Cloud, like, just before Red Dragon, which means I need to actually remember to do it. Most of the time I put Yoshi on Cloud here. I've already wasted enough time in menus this split. So yeah, right before Red Dragon I need to remember to actually put Yoshi on Cloud. I don't have a single comparison that will motivate me. Every comparison I have indicates that a 240 MK is bad. I'm just gonna skip a bunch of splits to motivate me to keep playing. Maybe I need to add the detail timer back. That way people know if it's inappropriate to... whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of dramatic irony with the timing of that email being posted, which irritates me. Yeah, huggies. I've seen a bit of everyone. Yeah, I think I might know what happened. So yeah, I marked the IDT just after laser, but I might have accidentally clicked mark again. Like while I was tapping out, I might have accidentally clicked the button again. Oh, because it's set to mark on release, I might have accidentally clicked my mouse again, and then when I tabbed out, it released. Then I got poked 222 again, like 3 minutes later or some shit. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this ether being used on Cloud. Should have just put poison on Kate, really, in hindsight. Yeah. Not sure if Tifa's gonna get in there. She did. Okay. Cloud doesn't have a limit. That's a terrible Palmer time. Looks like it's going to be a 1 ink, but it's not quite a 1 ink. The 1 ink was slow. We don't get to keep that limit, by the way. Looks like we do, but we don't. The limit bar just goes back to what it was before the fight. There we go. I think I put on my stream layout, it's you know, it's kind of condescending prick vibes, but whatever. I am what I am. It's not gonna matter that much longer. Anyway, I'm just gonna die to Demon's Games. It's too important. Should have been closed on that text box, but we have to wait for an IDT. Cold Conquer anyway. Could make the difference between me making a good IDT or not. But it's just one text box that was hanging there for a couple of seconds. Typically that just means waiting less for an IDT. Not always, sometimes it's painful. We do get an elixir from the cupboard here, but me using that ether earlier on still could be costly. Probably not gonna matter though. We're just gonna die at the temple. He has the firing on, so we're taking game. $305.29. Oh no, someone scrolled down that far. God damn it. 305. Yeah, 305. 35. Could have hit a 0 ank at 28. Well, let's be real. If I went for that, it probably would have just been like a fog pincer or something. Still possible, but... Wow, that's early. It's really fucking bad. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Probably just gonna have to skip the watering or something, which I don't mind doing on this run, because this run is awful. I don't mind doing that on a pace like this. Let's be real, with how far we are behind on steps, even if we don't get aqualunged, we could just get the Marlborough before we enter Guy's Cliff, and then just get bad breathed and die anyway, so... Power still needs a limit. Okay, let's force it. It's likely we would have had this limit from the first encounter in Temple, but let's not chance it. So we're on 644 pace essentially. That's my enter temple time on my PB, which is 6:39. So play on par with that, somehow not lose that much time for mashing, then yeah. Be a nice little 6:45 to get back to the swing of things. So skipping the roaring, which is fine, because this one's garbage. We get Aqualung. If we were to grab the roaring to avoid dying to Aqualung, not only would we lose time from getting Aqualung, but we're so behind on steps that yeah, we're guaranteed to get either a Marlborough like just before entering the cliffs, or a Gygus after Schizo, like guaranteed. Plus maybe a Bacchus or somewhere, which could just kill us anyway. Normally I wouldn't have that outlook, but if the pace is already this garbage, then whatever. If the pace is garbage, I'll have the nihilistic outlook. Alright, we need to put Yoshi on Cloud here. We didn't do that in Rocky Town. 611, that's a high max HP. Cloud has a high max HP here, so I'm not going to be safe going into an RD fight. I'm just going to let the ATBs flow. Like, Cloud can still get crit by an opening bite on him, but aside from crits, we're pretty much safe. The highest I've seen, like, a non-crit bite be is 608, 608, maybe a 610. Could get crit, but I mean, if that happens, you're just unlucky anyway. I'm gonna mess up the weight trick and just let ATB flow at the start of the fight. Yeah. Provided we get to Demon's Gate, which we should, we have the Spiderweb this time to look forward to, and also potential dice usage, which I'll probably do. We'll probably will end up using dice. I'm not attached to this run in any form, so... It's also another reason I'm not gonna try to buffer into any sub-menu for Red Dragon. Undies, they're undies. But also, yeah, even aside from the pace speed and shit, like, his max HP is pretty high, so... Yeah, my counselling appointment tomorrow is around the same time as I started today, so there should be no excuse for me to not start around the same time tomorrow. We'll start just over an hour later, but whatever happens here, we can just pick it up again tomorrow, and it's not that big of a deal. I mean, that was my mindset last week, and then went to my appointment, just tired, so just like called it 20 minutes in, and just went back to bed. But feeling pretty sleepy, and it's only like 3:30, so should be able to sleep at a decent time today. Start. There's the optimal opener. Shame we have to force that ball for the limit, so even though it's a good fight, it's gonna be a shit split. Good rolls. If this lands, then we can do the... Yeah, fuck it, let's go for the Tranquilizer strat. We had decent enough rolls, so... That's pretty bad, though. Oh, fuck it, let's do it. YOLO, run sucks anyway. It's a new worst segment because I had to force that ball. See the pound had the limit for the fight. Made some of it back from having the gourd opener, but still overall lost time from it. If we have the opportunity to do so, I'm going to use dice. Grain fights might be a bit awkward. Yeah, no. I should have just used Big God. I would have still died there, but... Yeah, cool. Ooh. If he used Big God first, Cloud would have still died, but... Would have been able to recover, maybe. Can't refund that one. How much is Sing Mode? 2,500. Yeah, just... If you ever need 2,500 towards something else in the future, then just remind me, I guess. Kind of my brother's game's lagging anyway. It's probably just as well that the comes to the end of the stream. Put my bitrate down now, but it's probably not enough. Said I would adjust the potentiometer on my PS2 laser when the run died. I said I was going to do that. Nah, I'd rather do that off stream, honestly. If I am going to do that, I'll do it off stream. You guys don't need to see me shoot my foot in real time. The subject of today is me removing any possibility of me being able to do more runs by trying to fix something and failing. This will be my last stream for the next 2 months. Etc. That's how that would go. I was trying to fix it on stream right now. With how sleepy I am, I'd just fuck it up. Well, guess we can't play FF7 for a long while now. For the foreseeable future, I guess we can't play FF7 anymore because I just killed my PS2. Seals live. That takes some of the pressure off of me. Take some of the spotlight off of me for some of the bullshit I've done in the last hour and a quarter. Unnecessary freaking out, etc, etc, etc. guess I'll just send you all over to Jake, unless there's... I know Zeal just went live, but... Well, if I can't finish her on, at least maybe Franby can. Thanks again for that huge raid at Dusk Enterprises, really appreciate it. But yeah, I should be on around the same time tomorrow. I've got something at midday that I need to attend to, but after that, should be able to call. No cursing. Yeah, that was a really good run. Like, only a minute off of my PB, and with a potential minute to save at Palmer, that was really good. But I guess I misclicked a second time by accident on the IGT client thing. But it's about sleepy I feel at the moment. I'm not entirely surprised. That was a good hustle for sure. Hey, if I can get a pace like that, being as tired as I am right now, then yeah, that's definitely a good sign for future attempts. If I can be fully switched on and get on a run like that, then that's just like, you know, we're in there. Thanks for watching, everyone. Huge raid from Dusk Enterprise. Yeah. Wish Franby luck. Doing all bosses PC. Peace.